The Tatami Galaxy is a show that really resonates with me on a lot of levels. It portrays a sense of repetition and helplessness that I think is very relatable to a lot of people. The show is about a nameless college student who's trying to find a club to join so he can fit in, essentially. He joins the tennis club during the first episode, and at the end of the episode, time reverses. From there, every episode features him joining a new club or organization on campus. Our main character is often very anxious, stubborn, and not very quick to try a new avenue in life. Because of this, he often ends up being completely devoted to the club he joins, or to the task he's trying to complete, regardless of how absurd it is. A good example of this is when he joins the biking club and spends a ton of money on a top-of-the-line bike, only to have it stolen. He then still enters a huge race with a crummy bike, and proceeds to participate in it, even after the race is long over with and it gets dark and starts to rain. He gets railroaded into completing absurd tasks or taking up hobbies he isn't really interested in because he just wants to fit in somewhere. This complete devotion to the club he joins leads him to becoming short-sighted to things that really matter that are dangling right in front of his face. And one shining way the show demonstrates this is with his relationship with a first-year engineering student named Akashi. Akashi is a girl who clearly shows signs of romantic interest in the protagonist. She's stern, bold, and flirtatious with him often, and tries to help him out at a lot of points during the story. Because of her bold and stern nature though, the main character feels intimidated by her. He feels this way even though he clearly wants to be with her. This makes him hesitant to take the next step with her. A plot point that exemplifies this is the protagonist having a bear figure dangling from a ceiling fan in his room. He lays up at it, remembering that it was Akashi who dropped it. He needs to return it to her, but he gets sidetracked and doesn't remember to. The dangling bear figurine is a metaphor for opportunity dangling right in front of the main character. He's too afraid of grabbing at this opportunity though. He feels like he isn't in control of his destiny in a sense, and can't take the next step to grab at this relationship that he could have with Akashi. What makes this even more ironic is that we as viewers know that these two should get together. In the first episode, the main character meets the god of matchmaking named Higuchi at a Neko ramen stand in the woods. Higuchi tells him that Akashi is bound to be with either him or Ozu, who is another relatively shady character in the story. Because of this information, it makes the viewer want to see the main character and Akashi get together. The way the show handles its time looping mechanic helps to drive home the protagonist's helplessness, as he is constantly having his life reset and his memories taken against his will. It's almost as if the show is frustrated with him for not taking clear opportunity that's constantly in front of him. You can see hints of him experiencing slight deja vu moments during the story, and certain minor elements carry over from one episode's timeline to another. Other characters show small signs of being self-aware of the time loop as well. An example of this is the fortune teller character, who the protagonist visits in every episode for various different reasons. She charges him more yen each time he visits her, and makes comments about him visiting her beforehand that he doesn't really understand. The advice she gives him isn't usually helpful to him in a direct way, but in a more meta sense, giving subtle winks to the viewer, essentially, about the circumstances that he's going through over the course of the entire show. It almost feels like we are trapped in this time loop with the main character, and the visuals really drive this idea home. At the end of each episode, a giant clock tower is shown, and we see the events of the episode play in reverse with a rewind sound effect, similar to a VHS tape. This iconography works really well to drive the repetition of the time loop plot point home, as it plays at the end of each episode. The overall presentation of the show is just great in general, really. The way most of the episodes open up, where we see the protagonist walking and trying to decide the club he wants to join, is really iconic, and it really sticks with you as you see it each episode. The show is presented with a very striking colors and visual flair that tell the story in a very unique way. The unconventional art style also matches the unconventional plot beautifully. I really enjoyed the Tatami Galaxy a lot, and I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.